Hey Hero fans, this is Todd. So today I'm going to talk about the new adventures of He-Man classic figures and things I've done with mine. So you guys have seen this figure before. This is the new adventures of He-Man, and of course when you got this figure he came with some various parts. He came with the cool green sword and the cool green shield, and then he came with an extra space armor. Let me go ahead and get that so I can show you. Stand, He-Man. There you go. And he came with this extra armor piece right here you could put on after you took that off. And then he also came with a helmeted head with an unremovable helmet. There we go. So that was the parts he came with. Kind of cool. It was reminiscent of the old New Adventures He-Man, which had a removable helmet and removable armor. And when you pulled off the old armor, underneath you would see that stylistic type of armor. So that was the idea. So then after we had this figure for a while, we got this new figure called Lord Mask. I don't have one to show you right now, but Lord Mask basically came with some cool accessories that were this shield and this sword. Now, for those that recognize this shield and this sword, it actually came with this figure right here. So this figure right here would have that shield and sword. It was chrome, pretty cool, and you can see the difference of how they look. Here's the new classics, and here is the original, similar. And then again, here's the classics right here and the original right here. So if you were to take and put this new shield and sword onto this figure, I mean, it looked kind of cool, but there's one major problem, and that was you didn't have the armor to match. So of course, you know, I'm sitting there going, that kind of stinks. So I was really hoping that Mattel would create an armor pack that released that armor that we got with this guy here. So I eventually decided to go find my own, and it was kind of a pain because eBay doesn't have these figures very often. And so I went ahead and I got that armor. And you want to be really careful with the armor. Here's a piece of armor that I heated up. I just threw it in a glass of water that was boiling and it shrunk on me. So don't try to heat the armor up to either sterilize it or to stretch it or to reshape it, because it will just shrivel up like a bunch of shrinky dinks. This was the first one I bought, and I threw it in a glass of water, went downstairs to help my wife with the table, and I came back. This was sitting in a glass of hot water. And I was like, "Argh!" So be careful. Don't try to heat this up at all, otherwise you'll end up with your own shrinky dinks. So I keep this as a reminder to just be careful. Right here. Now I did swap out the head. So you can see, did a head swap. And notice that the armor doesn't really match the sword and the shield very good. So this particular figure, I actually like to use the original sword and armor, the original figure. There we go. Now, if you take a look, besides the sword and armor, the boots on the figure are just gold, solid gold. But the boots on the release figure that has that sword and shield, they're golden brown. So when I made my next rendition, I went ahead and took Bo's boots that are brown and gold to try to make it look more like the original figure. Also, when it came to this figure, there was no ponytail, no Mr. Ponytail Man. So I used the head from the Laser Light He-Man to give it that same look. So you can see this one here as a ponytail, and that one is not. Alright, so that's how I started getting these figures. Now, as time went on, I did lots of other customizations. For one, I mean, the helmeted head just really kind of stunk having that helmet on there the whole time, because we know the original version had the removable helmet. It was so cool that you could play with and pull off. Well, they released another figure later on, Darius, that did have a removable helmet. and his helmet was kind of a copper color. And I found if I took the helmet and I sanded out the inside of it, focus. There we go. And that would match his hair the way it sticks out. So that's kind of the idea. And I wanted to match that hair. So then I can stick that helmet on there. And then he has a helmet, and I painted it gold, so it matched the armor. So that made for some pretty cool variants. Because now I could have my space He-Man with the helmet on, and my regular He-Man without the helmet. All in New Adventures. Cool, cool, cool. Alright, now another New Adventures figure was released, and kind of a fun one is they released a She-Ra one, which you've never seen before. A She-Ra New Adventures. I mean, how cool is that? Now, they did make the colors kind of opposite on it, where she actually has silver instead of gold, which is funny, because normally He-Man sports the other colors, but She-Ra usually sports the gold, so it's kind of fun how they actually changed that up a little bit. And she, too, has the bright green weapons. And then as I was thinking, I thought, you know what? All these weapons would be like energy-type weapons. Energy weapons, when it's dark, what do? They glow. So I went ahead and got another She-Ra, and I painted the inside of the shield with glow spray paint, and then I used the sword and put tons and tons and tons of coats of glow-in-the-dark paint on this sword, just so that I could make it glow in the dark. So I'll put my glow-in-the-dark She-Ra up here, and we'll do some experiments with lights. And then while I was at it, I thought, you know, I'm doing the same to the New Adventures He-Man. So here's his sword that glows in the dark, and I painted the inside of his shield as well. Now what's interesting is when I painted the shield, it turned it yellow. That's kind of strange. So there's his glow-in-the-dark stuff. And then just recently, I also, let's put the helmet on, what the heck, made a glow-in-the-dark version of him. So I painted the inside of the armor glow-in-the-dark, the shield glow-in-the-dark, and the sword glow-in-the-dark. So those are my 3 glow-in-the-darks. Now, I noticed really quick that this looks yellow and this one looks green. I thought, well, maybe it's from the spray paint, from spraying the inside of this glow-in-the-dark color. As I thought for a while, well, because I kept trying to buy those armors over and over again. Oh, he's not going. I finally got one in the mail that was yellow, and then I noticed online there was still a green one. So I ended up buying them both, and you could see they definitely made a green version and a yellow version. How strange that. I like the green one way better than the yellow. And so I started trying to just find the green ones. I found a lot of yellow ones on eBay, but I decided to get the green ones. Because I kept getting all these different armors, I ended up having a whole lot of extra of these figures. In fact, some of you guys might have probably even bought some of these from me on eBay, because I was selling them. And let me show you some of the figures I made from them. One is this figure right here, which I have a whole video on. And this is based on the Homecoming comic by, you'll find the video. Look for the Homecoming He-Man. And it's got some cool features. I had to cross the straps in the back because his torso is a little smaller. And then I made my own New Adventures He-Man, using parts in Darius's helmet and the new Classics armor. And then I took She-Ra's sword and painted it gold, and then took the original shield. So, kind of cool. And actually the armor, if you cut it right, actually fits over the top of this, and you'll see it in the other video I made just on this figure as well. So check that video out as well. Alright, so let's go ahead and have some fun with glow in the dark. Alright, so I dimmed some of the lights. Let's go ahead and kill some more lights. There we go. Now I use this right here to charge them up. It's an infrared light. It's very bright. Let's just get our glow on these figures. Hoop. There we go. Now I have a bunch of cool new adventures, glow-in-the-dark figures. How cool is that? So, that was the idea, to create a bunch of glow-in-the-dark figures. And there they are. Kind of like a whole Star Wars kind of cool thing going on. There's Shira with her sword and ready to go. Alright, well I hope you guys enjoyed seeing my glow-in-the-dark stuff and how it all works. Whew, red light. It's just funny, I just ended up with so many of these. And it was kind of weird because I kept getting them, and every time I buy one, the price kept going up on eBay because, you know, some Yahoo was buying them up, and that Yahoo happened to be me. And so I ended up getting a whole bunch. You know, I got my my original with the gold boots and the cool head from the 2-pack, so it looks almost like he's powered up, almost like Goku kind of thing. And then I got my glow-in-the-dark one, and I got my regular one, and then I have, of course, my originals that I like to keep. The yellow one and the green one. And before I knew it, I just started getting way too many of these. And it's funny, I actually drove the price up on eBay. I had a hard time getting people to actually sell them to me at a reasonable price pretty soon, because they're like, well, wait a minute, these go for quite a bit. Well, they didn't realize I was the guy who was jacking the price up. So it was kind of funny. But anyway, I had this one seller, he was very reasonable. It took a while, but he eventually sold it to me for less on his. And that's the one I used to create my final one, which was this one right here. So thanks to that seller, I appreciate it. The fun thing is with the black light, even the ones that don't glow just look really cool under the black light. You can just see it just lights it right up and just looks pretty cool. Let's go and drop those lights and take a look at this in the dark. You can see it looks like the armors just glow massively. We'll pull them away from the wall so it's not lighting the wall up so much. And so even the ones that don't glow in the dark, you can still have fun just with the black light, making them glow. Kind of cool. And of course this is the one that actually does glow. It's not as bright with the black light, but once it gets charged, then of course it will continue glowing. So, alright you guys, that is all I have. Thanks for watching. Check out my other videos. And I told someone today I was going to make this video, so I thought I better get back to it and make it. So there you go, my new Adventures of He-Man figures. I think I showed everything to you. Yep. Alright you guys, thanks again for watching. See you next video, and thank you for all the new subscribers. That is so cool, you guys are subscribing to my videos. And soon I will have the video on how to make your own Ice Armor He-Man. I know I keep talking about it. And also vote, which origin story do you want to see next? Do you want to see the Sorceress, or do you want to see Teela? I've only had one vote from one person so far, so post it in the comments which one you want to see. Otherwise, he'll get the only vote, and that's the one I'll make. Alright, you guys. Thanks again. Bye now.